Hello everyone, this is Jack Frost with your daily update for the Ethereum technicals and Solana. For the Ethereum technicals, price has increased after finding support at 2720, moving through support prior resistance at 3200. For the midterm, consolidating within resistance at 3680 and 3890, and support around 2720. Volume for the short term supports downwards movement with strongest volume on these bearish candlesticks and a push on the various bearish candlesticks. Lower volume on the bullish candlesticks sees some weakness in upwards movement. Those for the very short term, some strength on these bullish candlesticks sees a little bit of very short term support for upwards movement. RSI is neutral and increasing, getting a little bit closer to overbought, though it does still have some room to move. Money flow is also neutral and increasing. Both RSI and money flow still have some room to move before they may enter overbought. Additionally, neither exhibit divergence at this time frame. ETH steadily increasing along with price. The most recent decline as price moves sideways gives an overall bullish outlook for volatility, increasing along with price and declining where price moves sideways or down. And as ADX declines for Ethereum at this time frame, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance, which suggests a upward swing may continue towards resistance at 3680, where stochastics may reach more deeply overbought where price finds that resistance point, though it is also possible that the upward swing may end a little bit sooner than that, where stochastics has just now entered overbought, though it is still barely overbought, and price has fallen short at this time frame from resistance at 3680. We will have to wait for bullish or bearish movement for the short term before we may label the upward swing with stochastics and support and resistance complete at this time frame. On the first Solana daily chart, this downwards movement labeled an incomplete primary wave 4, currently subdividing as a double zigzag. Within that double zigzag, intermediate wave Y moves price overall lower for the short term, increasing for minor wave B, and within that minute wave C. An Elliott channel is drawn around the intermediate degree movements from the start of intermediate wave W to the end of intermediate wave X, with a copy on the end of intermediate wave W. As price is expected to increase, it may provide resistance for the end of minor wave B and minute wave C, though as minor wave B continues upwards, it cannot move above the start of minor wave A at 188.0915. And when it arrives, minor wave C and intermediate wave Y may find support at the lower edge of this Elliott channel just here. Though as primary wave 4 continues lower, it has a target calculated at 117.4360, which is the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio of primary wave 3. On this second daily chart, please note that at this time we do not have a main or alternate daily chart, as we have to wait for confirmation for any of these three wave counts at this time frame. And we will use the technical data that you will see in a minute to confirm or add confidence to any three of these wave counts. This wave count seeing primary wave 4 as a contracting or barrier triangle currently within intermediate wave D and within that minor wave C. Intermediate wave D expected to continue overall higher as it is a contracting or barrier triangle. Intermediate wave D cannot move above the end of intermediate wave B at 188.0915, though this is not an absolute rule, meaning intermediate wave D can move a little bit above this point, as long as the BD trendline is overall flat. When it arrives, intermediate wave E and the end of primary wave 4 are expected to fall short of this AC trendline, as is common for contracting triangles, and as intermediate wave E continues lower, it cannot move below the end of intermediate wave C at 122.5794, as is the rule for contracting triangles. On the third daily chart for Solana, this wave count is most likely the least probable, due to this truncation for primary wave 4 truncated by 2.7951, where intermediate wave C does not move beyond the end of intermediate wave A just here. Primary wave 4, this wave count subdividing as a single zigzag, now increasing and moving away for the beginning of primary wave 5 and cycle wave 3. Within primary wave 5, any second wave corrective movement cannot move below its start at 122.5794, and a high above 188.0915 would add confidence to this wave count, as it is the upper invalidation for both previous wave counts. Additionally, an Elliott channel is drawn around the intermediate degree movements from the start of intermediate wave A to the end of intermediate wave B, with a copy on the end of intermediate wave A. A full green candlestick above and not touching this channel would add confidence to this wave count, seeing bullish movement to overall continue for the mid to long term. Though as previously mentioned, with this truncation from primary wave 4 and a overall lack of strength and upwards movement at this point, this wave count has the lowest probability at this time frame. And on the technical daily chart for Solana, for the short term, price has consolidated within resistance up at 190 and support between 127 and 118. For the very short term, price moving around support resistance at 157. Volume supports upwards movement with strongest volume on the upwards sessions just here, though some strength and some pushes on the bearish candlesticks sees some strength for downwards movement for the short to mid term. On balance, volume continues within this range. This resistance line from yesterday has been redrawn with this last new high here. Price at this point continues within this increasingly narrow range. RSI is neutral and increasing with a little bit of room to move before it may enter overbought. Money flow also neutral and overall increasing with a lot more room than RSI before it may enter overbought. Additionally, neither RSI or money flow exhibit divergence at this time frame. ETH steadily increasing along with price overall, giving a bullish outlook for volatility. And as ADX declines for Solana at this time frame, we use the model of stochastics and support and resistance, which suggests the upward swing may continue a little bit further up to resistance at 175, where stochastics enters more deeply overbought and price may find that resistance point, though it is also possible for the upward swing to end at this point, where price has found support resistance at 157 and stochastics has only just now entered overbought. We will have to wait for price to move around support resistance at 157 for confirmation before we say that the upward swing may be complete at this time frame. That's all for me with your daily update for Solana and the Ethereum technicals. As always, if you want the Ethereum Elliott Wave count, you can sign up for that today at pureelliottwave.com. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a good day.